All right, folks, it's Tuesday, 6 o'clock. It's about to go down, folks. We are here on time, on the right day, right time. We're doing this pretty consistent, folks. I'm glad to be back. Dusty, here we go. From the West Coast to the East Coast and everything between, folks. From Eve After Dark to concerts in the park. You're live with your boy Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast hip hop. And my man, Dusty Vision, right hand, left hand, ride or die. Gemini.
That's right.
I gotta make that rhyme. I gotta make that rhyme one day. What up, Doc?
What's good, Lonzo?
Man, just enjoying Black History Month, Doc.
There you go. There you go. Talk to me, man. What have you done to celebrate?
Man, I've had about 3 or 4 documentary screenings, various colleges. I'm speaking Friday at another high school. Friday evening, I get an award from State Senator Mike Gibson for my community service. Next month, I just got notified I won another award for my business acumen, and I go to Sacramento on the 10th. So I've been busy, dude. It's been a good. Got a call last night. They want me to be a part of an organization. Work with a group out of Compton, and then I got after this call right here, I'm running for a position on my community neighborhood council, and I have a Zoom call right after this call right here. So I'm kind of busy, man.
That's what's up. When I retire, that's probably what I'll be doing, man. I don't see myself retiring and just sitting my ass down.
You know, I got a lot of buddies that are retired, man, and they don't do shit. Hey, what you doing? I'm ready to go to the meeting. I got to go to it. And my cousin, he retired, got a nice fat ass check, brand new car. And don't go nowhere. I said, dude, you got a brand new car. You got a pile of money. Go do something. I don't know what to do. Figure it out. Okay. So yeah, I do a lot. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy doing what I'm doing now. I don't have to do it. That's the beautiful part about it. It's not mandatory that I have to go to any act. Nope, I don't want to do that. Can't nobody get mad. They ain't gonna affect my income. It ain't gonna do that. But as I do more, I feel I get recognized and appreciated more, and that means a lot.
Love it, man. Love it. Let's keep it going, Lonzo. Definitely proud to be part of this show and keeping your legacy alive, man. Let's discuss something. Let's jump into something that we talked about a few weeks ago, but we talked about part 1. And part 2 was recently released. I'm talking about a very good documentary on DJ Yella on Fox Soul. They just released part 2. I'm curious, before we jump into it, have you seen part 2 yet, Lance?
Yes, I did. I was they had a screening on Sunday. We went up to Hollywood in NoHo, and saw it in a private theater. Yes.
Nice. All right, let's break it down, man, because there were a couple things in there that I would love to touch on. We've talked about in the past, but we're going to discuss again, being that this is a hot topic in the documentary world. Now, watching part 2 in it, Yella goes deeper into his career as an adult film director.
Yep.
Now, they discuss kind of simultaneously as he started doing the adult films, Eazy-E's life was taken away by AIDS. Let's play a little clip of this, Lonzo, and I would love your thoughts on this and maybe even dive a little bit deeper. This is DJ Yella's documentary, You Can't Erase Me, where he discusses Eazy-E and AIDS right around the time his adult career became successful.
Know how he contracted AIDS.
I found out the news he got AIDS. I'm like, that's what you wanted. So, is it cross? Is it, like porn and, all this going on, all this mixing, but so I kind of, it shocked me, like, oh, AIDS. And then I had to think about AIDS. Yeah, I could see E passing from AIDS because we did our thing in them days. So you never know where he got it from, or people say, oh, he got injected. I don't feel that. I really didn't feel that.
We've talked about this at length in the past, and many people would agree that something fishy was up with Eazy's passing. We've seen Magic Johnson's still alive today. You talked about Rock Hudson and seeing his decline and things like that. But talk to me about what you feel about DJ Yella saying, I mean, it makes sense because we were banging a lot of chicks back then.
You know, they were doing a lot back then. To my knowledge, Easy didn't do a whole lot with the porn chicks. I don't know, dude. I can't speak on that part right there. But if there was something that was, I see Yella doing more than Easy. Easy was a little more cautious, I would think. Maybe the circumstances prove me wrong, but nobody ever came forward to say that, hey, I'm the one that he got it from, or nobody, none of his kids, wife, anything had it, and he died so fast. And that was the whole thing behind. That was the whole thing for me and anybody else that smelled something a little fishy, is that he died so fast from it, man. He was fine. Easy was at my house a couple of months before he died. Okay, he was in my pad. You know, and he always had a touch of asthma or bronchitis, and for it to manifest and develop and take him out the way it did, it just didn't feel right. Especially when Magic Johnson had HIV, and he's still kicking it with no signs. Like I said, when first person I ever heard dying of AIDS was Rock Hudson, and it took him forever to die. It was on the news every day. Rock Hudson rests comfortably at his Beverly Hills home as he suffers from the effects of AIDS. And I'm like, okay, when is this dude gonna check out? I mean, it was like that, dude. It was 5, 6, 7 months. He was, I can't recall exactly now, but it was quite some time. It was a daily part of the daily news, Rock Hudson's condition as he suffered from AIDS. And to see Easy go in like 3 weeks, dude, I ain't know it even moving like that. I have to my knowledge, that no one else has passed that fast from AIDS other than Easy.
Before and after, right?
Before and after.
Yeah, that's real interesting, man. Yes, something else Yella mentioned in this documentary was he mentioned that most of his demons, quote, came from music. And he even mentioned that when he called in to our program a couple of weeks ago. And it got me to thinking, imagine having to sleep at night knowing your music was responsible, could have been responsible, most likely was responsible for the unaliving of thousands upon thousands of Black kids. That was the soundtrack to the streets. You said something interesting. You said at least turn off the lights. Y'all were producing babies, not coffins. And you broke it down real nicely with that. But talk to me about, your thoughts on that. Do you think, how does one sleep at night knowing that their product that they are creating might be possible for poisoning a lot of people and killing a lot of people?
If you don't have a conscience, you sleep fine. If you don't know, if you don't understand the damage that you do, it's like, what's that term? A psychopath. A psychopath don't sleep fine at night. Okay, they don't have no remorse whatsoever when it comes to their actions. And I'm not calling them psychopaths by no means, but if you don't have the wherewithal, if you never had the spiritual guidance to realize that what you're doing could negatively affect somebody else, then it's, there's no way, you don't have any guardrails to make you realize, hey, I'm bucking up. You don't have that. So you can do what you do and do it comfortably and not even know you're doing something wrong, man. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying something that you're doing something that's affecting the community.
Would you say that question or that theory, that thought has probably popped up in each and every member of NWA's mind at least once during their career? And something I'm creating could possibly be responsible for the unaliving of a lot of people?
Well, I would think maybe so, but I would think also at the time it was such a phenomenon. It's initially, and I keep telling people forget, initially it wasn't what it became. It was all about expressing yourself, something to dance to, Panic Zone. It was about reality raps, and sometimes things, get misguided. You see something, you say something over here, and people respond in such a positive way. You just drift over there and make that your main lane. And I think that's what happened in a lot of ways. They, if you look at them, man, they were not gangsters. I keep telling folks, Look at their early clothing. Look at their early lyrics. Their early lyrics. They were not gangsters. They morphed into gangsters after the news gave them that title. That's when they started wearing the Raider gear and the blacked out clothes. For the very first pictures, first promo pictures, Yella had on the tam, Dre had on the regular old pair of jeans, and nobody was looking thuggish. Okay, nobody was looking thuggish. Nobody was talking thuggish. Nobody was thugs. Okay, nobody was thugs. Easy sold some dope, but nobody else, to my knowledge, and not the three of them I know personally, they were not into that type of lifestyle, and they were able to take something they heard, something they saw, and make it and tell the story, and the other people ran with it and made it a lifestyle. Big difference. Big difference. You know, I could tell a life story I could tell you a tale about all kinds of stuff. Don't mean I really did it. Now, if you take what I'm saying being the truth, and you want to write your live your life based on my lyrics, because sometimes life does imitate art, and sometimes art imitates life. In this case, I think art imitated life, and the life said, I want my shit back.
You speaking of not knowing when the group really was on the thug side, let's forget for a moment that NWA was a groundbreaking group. Let's go to hypothetical land. Do you think NWA would have made it in 2025?
Oh, hell no. They wouldn't have got out of the can. Well, you know what? Let me back up. Some of the stuff they talk about with women, nah, they would have got canceled for that. In some areas, they caught a lot more flack in some areas. That's an excellent question, Doc. That's an excellent question, because I can see it going both ways. I can see it being the council culture, you know, oh, they doing this, but then you got guys now make NWA look like nursery rhymes. So it all depends on what arena you in. You know, a lot of shit these guys, NWA said, man, that was some Sesame Street bullshit compared to what these guys are doing now.
Yeah, that's fact. I want to play this clip for you, Lonzo, from a brother named Marcus J. Carruthers. He's on Instagram, ex-felon, and dude out of Chicago. And he has an interesting take on NWA. And we discussed this a few years ago when Special Ed went viral for saying that NWA caused, quote, destruction to hip-hop. Upset a lot of people. Here is Marcus Carruthers and his take on that. And then I would love for you to break it down.
It destroyed us. I'm gonna just be honest.
Yeah, it's a hard reality to admit, because I grew up loving NWA and listening to it, and then you're like, wow, you know.
Before NWA, we didn't have a concept that it was cool to kill a black person.
Yeah.
Did murders happen? Yeah. But nobody bragged about it. We didn't have a concept that it was cool to go to prison. There was no concept that it was good to kill a black person. Like I didn't even know that existed. To say it's cool, you brag about it. You're not supposed to
literally kill people, and they get arrested for literally killing people and bragging about it. It's insane.
They created a new environment that now it's cool to kill our own people.
Talk to me, man.
I agree to a certain degree. That's what happens when art imitates life. People forget when NWA first hit. That's when crack first came to the hood, and folks was dying like they was roaches smoking on raid. Okay, that was a part of that was part of the streets. And once you understand the streets, you understand the activities of the street, and in a lot of cases, all they did was put it to music. Now, did they cause that? I can't say they caused it. They did magnify it. They did amplify it, but I can't say they caused it, because when, like I said before, man, folks have sold dope around the corner from my house for years, and nobody got shot, nobody got killed. Cats might have got jumped on, but when crack came into the country, and crack was deliberately dropped into the black communities, LA, Watts, Oakland, wherever else they ended up, that's when the bounty on black men's head became much more important to those who was trying to come up in the game, and that's when the life expectancy dropped, value of life dropped, and because the value of money increased, and that's bottom line, Doc. When the value of money increases and value of life decreases, you get what you got. We're dealing with it right now in politics. People in power value money more than they value people. So people are disposable. Fuck your life. Fuck what you're dealing with. I want to do something else. And if you get caught up in the wake of what I'm doing, I'm sorry for it. Bottom line, I need my money. All the money I got, I need more. All the money I need more. If I want to save my buddies tax breaks, hey man, I'm gonna fire 200,000 people. The same thing. They still killing people. They're just not using guns. It's the same thing. Money over people. Whether it's the streets or 1600 Washington, whatever street is on.
Pennsylvania
Avenue. It's the same thing. That money over people all the time. And just so happened people at that time chose violence as opposed to didn't have the stroke of the pen. And they tell you the pen is just as powerful as a sword. So in one case, guys are dying in the streets from drug wars. In other cities, people are losing their houses, man. People are losing their lifestyles. People are losing everything, and it's all behind a pen. No bullets, no swords or anything. Nothing lethal is being used, but it's still having devastating effects.
Money over people. That's a cold reality right there.
Money over people, man. You know, and that's what happened, dude. You start giving, I can make how much? I got to go shoot somebody? Give me a gun, okay? I can take his corner. I can run these guys off this corner, and I'm going to make 5 G's a week. Man, I ain't got nothing else to do. I get caught, what, I'm going to go to jail? Bye. And that was the attitude. That was the attitude for a long time, man. But people forget all that shit was manipulated. It was planned. It was executed. They didn't drop that shit in Beverly Hills. They dropped that shit in the hood. Well, they already took the jobs out. Like I tell you 1,000 times before. When I was going to school in 75, I graduated high school, you can leave graduation, go get a job at General Motors or the post office, something else, and retire. You could leave graduation. Fuck that. Have your cap and gown on. Go down to the employment office at General Motors, Goodyear Tire, post office, or several places, and you'll be hired on Monday morning. Skip the prom. Skip all the after bullshit. I'm going to work. They ain't got that option right now, man. The option changed. The option changed, especially in the 80s, because you got grown men ain't got no jobs. So now you got a whole community, unemployment high. They go a source to make money. But at some point in time, I may have to kill something or kill somebody to keep from getting killed. I'll take my chances with these bullets in these streets.
Man, it's going to be a good conversation tonight. I'm enjoying it. Let's continue. And this popped up in my head because it was something that I discussed on my program recently. It just popped up out of the blue, and a lot of it was based on what you and I have talked about in the past. Like, I use a lot of your stuff, Lonzo. I'm keeping it real. You're so knowledgeable, so I pass it along. Keep this.
Please do.
But
Please do.
For sure. I promise you, that's going to be one of my gifts to you for eternity, man. Do you think in hypothetical world, let's go back to hypothetical world, and this was a question I posed on my show. Do you think in hypothetical world, if Koreans didn't own the stores at the Compton swap meet, but we did, if it was all blacks instead of mainly Koreans owning the stores, and it was all blacks in the Korean in the Compton swap meet, do you think we would sell or have sold all of the stuff that the Koreans were selling to us? The blue rag jumpsuits, the fake guns with the orange tip on it that you can scrape off. I mean, the whole gang banging attire. Do you think that we as black people would, if we were in a better position or a different position, I should say, that the Koreans were in at the Compton swap meet, will we sell us to our own people?
It might not. You understand this. You'd have caught more flack for it than they would have. Okay? You'd have caught more flack. Understand this. This is why when Jerry Heller did what he did, Lonzo couldn't do what Jerry Heller did. Because I would have got held responsible for that. As a black man, they'd have held me up to a different standard. Okay? As non-black, he's just making money. You ain't got to buy it. These are the responses you get. He just how you gonna stop the man from making this money? But if it was me, you are just selling destruction to the community. You know them guns, you know them sweatsuits, you know them tennis shoes that represent blah 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 blah. I'm gonna catch hell. Okay, but somebody else coming to the community, they're not gonna have the same. You don't even know how to you don't even know how to hate on them. You don't know how to hate on them. They might not understand they're being hated on. They wouldn't even understand it in most cases. They wouldn't understand. They think they see you wearing something and nobody ever said anything. Think about that. I was thinking about something today. I'm going to say this right here. It was something that dawned on me today. My cousin was talking about some of the movies on television. I got to say this because it was something that it struck a nerve with me. Man, you watch Family Business, you watch so-and-so, you watch so-and-so. And I said, nah, man. I said, I'm tired of these urban exploitation TV shows. Urban exploitation TV shows, okay? Every damn black TV show got the big daddy or the big mama. They run on this empire. Everybody throwing guns and pulling guns on everybody. Everybody's a goddamn killer. Man, that shit does more damage than fucking NWA ever did. This is bullshit.
Break it down, dog.
And you got reputable artists. You got Ernie. I love what's her name? Ernie Johnson. Was it Ernie Johnson? What's the dude, man? You know, the brother, good looking old dude, man. Ernie Hudson. Ernie Hudson. You got my girl Sunshine, and you got a bunch of other folks doing these family business, a show called Family Business. I watched one episode, man. I can't watch this bullshit. Everybody got these fly ass cars. Everybody's screwing everybody. It's the same old bullshit. Reimagined over and over again. All it is black urban exploitation movies. The same shit they stopped back in the 70s, but it was stopped in the 70s by the NAACP. Okay? It was stopped. Dude, I'm telling you, this is the beauty of being an old son of a bitch. Okay? I remember shit. Black in the day in the 70s, black exploitation movies was the shit. Jim Brown kicking ass. Jim Brown, Jim Kelly, who else? Even Crazy Ass Dolomite. They had all these black characters. Pam Grier,
Antonio
Fargas. Yeah, all these guys, they was always, they was always kicking ass. Shaft was a good dude, kicking ass against the man. But you had the other guys that started kicking ass, and they were just showing titties and fucking. Okay, it's a whole different situation. And but most of the movies were produced by non-melanated companies. When they realized that a young Lonzo is in the ditch of school, down there watching the movie like it's nobody's business, shit on swole, okay? Because every time you speak to Pam Grier, she pull her bra off. Hey, Pam, oh shit, I gotta fight, okay? So you start seeing these movies on a regular basis, man. And they realized those movies were having a negative impact on the youth of the community. And the NAACP, when they was really active in the community, went to non-melanated Hollywood. Y'all got to stop this shit. Y'all got to stop it. Y'all got to cut it out. And they did. And guess what I did? As a 16, 17-year-old urban black exploitation movie loving brother, I'm mad as hell at the NAACP.
You didn't understand it.
I didn't understand. I didn't understand that these movies were actually corrupting me. And because they got me wearing, dude, I'm wearing maxi coat, got my hair pimp. I'm starting baking soda, dude. I'm doing this. I'm telling you what God loves, which is the truth. I'm telling you what God loves. I was what my main man before Superfly was Sly and the Family Stone. I just watched this documentary the other day. Man, brought back memories and damn near brought me to tears, man. Them was some great times, dude. For me as a kid, them was some great times. Because it was all about peace and love and kicking it and having a good time and, doing dumb shit that was, I wish I could have went to, I wish I could have went to Woodstock. I couldn't go to Woodstock. I wouldn't have been on no goddamn Woodstock. But I had a natural this goddamn big though. Okay, had my little army jacket and my little peace thing on my arm and stuff. You know, it was a different time until I saw Superfly. Fuck this shit. Got all that shit fried, dyed, and laid to the side, and it changed my life, dude. I'm telling you, it changed my life. So when you understand that art does have an impact on life, art does have an impact on life, and life has an impact on art. Sometimes people will see something developing in the hood and just make a theme song to go along with it. Perfect example. When we made Cabbage Patch, we didn't make it the dance. We did not make it the Cabbage Patch dance. We saw the Cabbage Patch being popular in the club, and we wrote a song to it. We made a song to it. So a lot of times you see people, you see something emerging, and you just merge with it. Okay, and a lot of times, based on being a pioneer or being somebody that does it first, you get credit for it. Whether you deserve it or not, you get credit for it. Simple as that.
Yep. You know, let's talk a little bit about blaxploitation. And before we do, since we're almost halfway through, I'm gonna remind everybody to hit that like button real quick. Just smash it. It really helps out the show. And please share the show if you like what you hear. And if this is your first time joining the channel and you appreciate the content, subscribe to the channel. This is the Not Without Alonzo, NWA Stories with Lonzo. I am Dusty Vision. I usually do that more smoother, but it is what it is. I'm stuck in the conversation, man. I love this. There are tons of theories, Lonzo, that blaxploitation saved Hollywood. In the 70s, the movie industry was not doing really good, especially in that certain time period. Now here come these black movies that cost very little to make, and they're making tons of money. Have you heard the theory, and we might have even talked about it in the past, that blaxploitation might have saved Hollywood?
Yes, sir. But we always saving some shit that bite us in the ass. We always saving some shit that bite us in the ass. Why is it that we have to sacrifice our shit for somebody else to get paid? I was listening this morning at a interview on the Breakfast Club with Leora Cohen, and Charlamagne the God was talking to him about how they have been promoting. It was a Chance the Rapper was pointing out how when he was on the Breakfast Club, was it Chance the Rapper? Which one was that? That was beefing with Kendrick and them for a minute and stepped out with the crazy hair.
J. Cole.
J. Cole, my bad. I get my new rappers confused sometimes. They all look alike, except for Kendrick. J. Cole did a post on Instagram. He was talking about how when Leora Cohen was on the Breakfast Club, and he talked about how Charlamagne the God asked him a question about how do you feel some kind of way about your images affecting the black community, and he says, "Hey man, I got to feed mouths." So basically, our kids died.
Money over lives.
Money over lives. Our kids died so yours can eat. Come on, man. Let's keep it 100. If it ain't 100, don't even call me. Our kids died so yours can eat. That means our assets are disposable.
Damn.
And you get, huh? That's what it breaks down to, man. That's what it breaks down to. You break your assets disposable. You're expendable. And the same thing is happening right now as we speak in Washington, D.C. and around the country in all these different federal situations, federal offices. Your poor people are expendable. Black people are expendable. Women are expendable. Gays are expendable. According to what's happening right now, DEI became was the law of the land, but it's no longer the law of the land. And anybody assumed to be hired under that situation, you're now expendable. That goes for women, goes for gays, handicapped, veterans, black folks, of course, women, everybody. You're expendable. And again, money over people.
Money over people. That's going to be the theme for the night, for sure. And that simplifies life. That explains life right there, especially when you kind of realize where you are in the pecking order of things.
Yeah.
Damn. Cool. All right. Anybody have any questions for Lonzo? Post them in the chat. I will definitely get to them. I see a couple of them already. I want to play. Actually, I want to do our segment, Lonzo, where I recite a bar from an artist and we just break down the lyrics.
Damn.
This is coming from Kanye West, the old Kanye. Most of us prefer and love the old Kanye, but this is a song called "All Falls Down." And in this song, he has a very powerful line, and it's a split second. And if you don't pay attention, you might miss it. But he says, and I quote, "Drug dealer buy Jordan, black kids buy crack, and the white man get paid off of all of that." I'm gonna say it one more time, and then I want your opinion and everyone's opinion in the comment section. Comment down below. What do you think of this Kanye West line from All Falls Down? Drug dealers buy Jordans, black kids buy crack, and the white man gets paid off of all of that. Talk to me.
You know, it's a perfect example of how, when all the drug dealers come home from jail, everybody makes them out to be a hero. Unless they got a farm in Colombia, a boat or a plane at a dock or airport someplace, or got a system of getting it into the country, somebody probably non-melanated is in the middle of that shit. Nobody never know their name. Nobody ever know their name. So when ask me one question. Name me a powerful white dope dealer. I'll wait.
There you go. I can't. Other than maybe one who did a documentary like Blow. I can't even think. There's just, yeah.
What's that kid? Rick? What's his name? The old kid.
Boston Rick. Oh, see, we can't even name one. We can name 17. We can name 17 black ones.
Yeah. The kid, the white boy
Richie,
Rick.
I think.
White boy Rick.
There you go.
White boy Rick. Okay. He's the only one I ever met. He ended up being the fall guy for everybody. Okay. But he was just, again, he just was a retail. That shit got to be manufactured and wholesale to somebody. That shit is not coming from Watts and Compton. That's just coming to Watts and Compton. It's a difference. But you ain't never seen nobody's name attached to nothing that ain't melanated. Even if it's over in Colombia, you got the big dude, you got him melanated, but he sold to somebody else that wasn't melanated. They got it over here. But meanwhile, everybody on the retail end goes to prison and come back a hero, which inspires other people to try and do the same thing. All that right there is manipulation, dude. Because when you see somebody getting treated like a celebrity for doing something that is illegal, wrong, and go to jail for it, only inspires weaker-minded people to do the same thing. That's inspiration, dude. When I saw Dion probably younger than me, but I like Dion. I used to love Dion. Thought he was the shit. He was the first brother to talk shit all the time. Didn't give a damn. He wasn't modest about nothing. Okay, shit. He was Dion. I was Dago Lonzo. Shit. For a minute.
I can see y'all have. Yep. I can see y'all being the same type of.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
He was flashy. He didn't give a damn. He was good at what he did. Okay. And you couldn't take that from me. Still can't take it from me. And he was Dion, and I was Dayglow Lonzo for a minute. But again, when you see people rise to the top, that's inspirational. That's motivational. Whether it be the top of the football field.
Thank you, Rad 7. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Doc. I must be missing something. Yeah.
Rad 7.
Rad 7. Much love to you, Doc. Whether it's the top of the game in football, basketball, football, or the streets of selling drugs. I was listening to a podcast talking about Lil Meech. He got paid big time, real good for messing with dealing with 50 on these on BMF. Instead of him buying some shit that's gonna be tangible, he went out partying and throwing 40, 50 grand in the strip club. Buying high-end luggage and watches and shit. And that's in 2025. You're trying to live up to something your daddy did back in the 80s and 90s, but you start trying to 25 with a job. Basically, you have a job, son. Basically, you have a job. You will never, I'm sorry, I ain't gonna say that. You will very rarely ever see a brother working 9 to 5 throwing a year's paycheck at the strip club. 40, 50,000 is a year's paycheck for a lot of people. Okay? You will rarely see them spend a bunch of their money on shit unless that's all they're gonna do. Okay? That's all. If that's all they do, buy cars and fix up cars and low ride, whatever, but you don't see them doing it's real hard to go to school, get an education, get a job, raise a family, and have that kind of disposable income and throw it away. You're not making economic sense. If you went to school and got an education, you know the value, you learn the value of money in most cases. So if you got a job making, I don't know, $200,000 a year in a high position, I don't see you throwing $200,000 or $300,000, $50,000 at a stripper. When you throw money at shit like that, it gives you the illusion that money ain't no subject, ain't an object. And we all know that's a bold-faced lie, unless you're getting it just crazy. And most people, they get it crazy, ball players, drug dealers, and folks of that nature who don't respect it till they don't have it no more.
Mm-hmm. Man. Shout out to Rat7 again. Thank you for the super chat. He said something, actually, Lonzo, before we get into his question, and it's so creepy because as soon as he said it, the comment disappeared in the YouTube chat. They're watching us, unfortunately. But it did pop up on the Facebook chat. He said Big Pharma is the biggest drug dealer on the planet.
Check this out. Every drug that we have ever known to like, they found a way to duplicate it in a pill. I'll wait. Think about it. Folks like heroin, they found that they call it hillbilly heroin. Opioids, Oxycontin. Okay, they found fentanyl. People like they like crack cocaine. They got damn it, come on, they get the kids. Adderall. Okay. We like weed. Well, they still gave us weed, but they gave us some modified weed. They didn't give us some natural shit that's just gonna grow when the seed fall out your body.
No seeds.
No seeds. They gave us super weed that you can't grow in your backyard unless you do it from a clone. Okay. So everything that we learned that we had an attraction to, an addiction for, they found a way to put it in a pill, put it in a jar, and it just so happens a whole bunch of it gets on the streets. What happened? How did it get on the streets? But you won't see no cancer cures. You won't see no Ozempic on the streets. You won't see stuff that people really need or people really they can help them on the streets. But you'll find that that addictable shit, all the opioids and fentanyl. And I don't understand the purpose of fentanyl whatsoever, because when they showed me how much fentanyl it took to kill somebody, Negro, I got more potato chips on my damn desk than take get you for fentanyl. I was eating chips before the show started. I got crumbs on my desk that are bigger than it would enough. It was fentanyl, I'd be dead right now.
Let's jump into some questions from the audience, and we'll start with Rad7 since he did shoot us a super chat. And if you're feeling a little friendly tonight, there's a little money sign right there. Shoot us a few bucks. We really appreciate it. Now, he says, Lonzo, what are some of your memories of Dootsy Williams? And before you get into that question, remind everyone again who Dootsy is and give a little background of his history.
Dootsy Williams was the owner of Doodle's Music Center. It's on Central 135th Street, around the corner from Eve After Dark. I have very vivid memories of Dootsy Williams because I spent time with Dootsy Williams. Being a young hustler, dealing with older men, I learned very early in my career, older men love to tell their legacy, just like I'm doing right now. They didn't have podcasts back then. They love to share their knowledge. They love to share their experiences and tell people what they was doing and hope somebody like me will keep their legacy alive. I talked for hours with Jeffy. I talked for hours with Dootsy. Dootsy wrote a song called Earth Angel. That record was a huge record back in the doo-wop era. But he had enough business sense to get paid properly. He bought old helicopter factory that became Dudos right there in Compton. At the time when he bought that helicopter factory, turned it into Dudos, Compton was predominantly white. The brother next door, Mr. Woodley, had built the bowling alley. So he had literally Woodley's bowling alley and Dudos right next to each other. Okay? And they would, a lot of times, the bowling alley would have a tournament. The tournament party be at Dudos. I'm a kid. I see these stuff. I see it on the marquee. In fact, if you look at any of my pictures from the from Dudos marquee, you'll see tournament up on the on the wrecking crew. He didn't have all the letters. He couldn't spell all the shit. He had you figured it out. It was turn them, and wreck it. Okay, for the most part. But he explained to me why he built Dudos where he did. Man, I'm telling you, when he was like 77, 78 when I met him. He was an old dude when I met him, but he was cool. He was another Gemini, and I'd go down there and give him his deposit for the night or pay him for the rent. He just said that we just kick it sometime. He showed me his where his records was, because he'd be down there packaging up records. Him and his wife, they own Dutone Records, Red Fox and Richard and Willie, Skillet and Leroy. All these guys are on this label. Okay. And they would always be at Dudos performing, but he always had his label too. So he's selling records and selling tickets. The front door Dudos had it was like a little half door. You could walk up and buy tickets. It'd be lines sometimes. My old man cut lines. We cut lines in concert. We used to be lines out the day of a show, people buying tickets for the concert that night. But when I got to know him, I went into the office where he was. He got shelves all over, all the back wall. And that was also his warehouse. So he wasn't selling tickets. He was packaging records to ship them out. Dudos had 3 sections to it. One side, it had a 2-story. Other side, it was an auditorium in the middle and another building on top of it. On the one side where the ticket booth was, you go upstairs, he had his office, but he also had a full, like a 2-bedroom apartment and a studio apartment. 2-bedroom apartment and a studio apartment. How do I know this? I took the tour, and before I bought my house where I'm at right now, I was thinking about buying Dudos. He'd offered it to me. I didn't have the financial literacy to know I could afford it, because I was going to pull a Dan Tennant and live in the studio and party on the weekend. That was my plan. Anyway, he explained to me that at the time when he started doing his shows, because most of the area was white, Carson wasn't even around yet. Compton didn't have no hotels, and the hotels they did have, black folks couldn't stay in them. So we had to build. There
was a time Compton didn't allow black folks to stay in the hotels.
Yes, really? It was all white.
Even in California, she was going down like that.
It was still going down like that, Doc. They won't tell you that shit, but I'm telling you what the man told me. It was hard for him to book room for his act. So what he did when he built Dudos, he added this to it. He built this section up here and put housing up there so the acts would have a place to stay when they was in town. Now, a lot of times they would stay down Central, but again, they down Central in LA because Central Avenue was the main drag for black folks in the 50s and 60s before Crenshaw took over. If you see the movie Devil in a Blue Dress with Denzel Washington, everything happened on Central Avenue. Everything happened on Central Avenue. So now he's telling me when he built Dudos that he built it where he built it, and because it was so close to the city limits, it was in Compton, but it was right next to the city limits of LA. And it's Centennial, some houses, some more houses, skate land, and Dudos. So it might be a mile, maybe not even a full mile from Dudos to LA city limits. He built it that way, and it was working to his advantage because now black folks would come to Dudos to see quality acts and be out of Watts, be in the Watts of LA before the Compton PD could get them. It was all white. They was all white. Okay. The other side of the room was like a little after party room. Okay, it was a little smaller, held about 200 people. I gave some parties up there. I went to dances up there in high school. But the room that I loved the most to do those, man, was his speakeasy. Yeah, he had a real speakeasy. If you didn't know where it was, you couldn't find it. The door was inside of a closet. Okay, and you had to move the closet door and kick it a little bit, and the door would, slide the door back, and there was a full fucking bar. I told the story Saturday in Compton at the Black History Month event. On the walls of, listen, honest to God truth, on the walls of the speakeasy, he had original Ernie Barnes pictures. Him and Ernie Barnes was real tight. Ernie Barnes hadn't blown up yet. He hadn't blown up yet.
Is that the guy, the Good Times guy?
That's the Good Times guy.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Ernie Barnes. Dudos has a documentary out someplace. I was in it, and they talk about his relationship with Ernie Barnes. Okay, and he had because Compton was and still is a dry city. You're not going
meaning there's no bars that sell. Wait, break that down.
You're not going into Compton and buy no meal and get a beverage to go with it. Now you can go to the VFW, get some chicken wings and a beer and a shot of Hennessy, but that's a government facility. VFW is totally different from a private owner. Last restaurant we had in Compton that had alcohol and food was Fridays, and folks fucked that off. So now you got to go to Linwood, you got to go to Carson. You cannot sit down in Compton, anywhere in Compton. And
now that you say that, I'm thinking you're right. I've never had a beer and a taco in Compton.
You cannot buy you can buy it from liquor store, take your ass home. You go to the grocery store, go to liquor store. You got liquor stores up the gang, but there is no facility in Compton. You can go sit down, order a meal, have a cocktail while you wait. Ain't gonna happen. This is in the charter from the 1800s. Okay, why nobody ever changed it? I don't know, but they changed it for Fridays when they had the Fridays there. Since then, that was the last of the Mohicans. But these are some of the things, and here again, it wasn't, and I knocked on Mr. Williams' door. He didn't want to let me rent the building. First, he thought we might have been family because our both last names are Williams. But what locked me in with him was he and Jeffy had a little beef going. Just a little bit. That major. They wasn't riding by Dudos or riding by Jeffy shooting at each other and shit. They had a little beef going because Jeffy was right around the corner. Okay? Literally right around the corner. I call it off Central. And if the acts played at Dudos on Saturday night, Jeffy would have them Sunday and Monday at Jeffy's for $2, $3. And it was legal. But Dudos didn't like that because he done flew him in and paid for him to be here. He might have made this money. He might not have made this money. He might have lost some money because if people passing out flyers saying they're going to be at Jeffy's for half price, because back then, man, a concert ticket was like $6, $7. Maybe even cheaper than that. So if you got Etta James lived in the neighborhood. She's singing the Dudos on Friday. On her way home, she can go to Jeffy's, literally. Okay? So if you got folks coming to town and Dudos putting them up and bringing them in, promoting them, and then they go around the corner and play, and again, sometimes they need some gas money. They might have put gambling because you're talking about different kind of cats. And the guy might got into a crap game after the show, can't pay his band. So he got to go to Jeffy's and play, do a quick gig. And he didn't like that. They never talked about it. It was no big deal, but it was mentioned to me. But because I worked with Jeffy and I ran his club, he knew about the Eve After Dark. He gave me an opportunity. And that's how I was able to do what I did. So I said all that to say this. Man, sometimes as a youngster, shut the fuck up and listen to an old dude talk. You might learn something, and you never know who's watching you, okay? And because I was at Dudos, old man Craig, Mr. Craig Schlesinger, I hit him up first, but he saw me doing what I was doing at Dudos. Hey, man, let's do that after all. Okay, cool, let's do it. So I was doing doodles on Friday, Skate on Saturday. And he was a good dude. I mean, like I said, he offered me doodles for $200,000. We had just got our record deal with CBS. We had 100,000. I thought I had to give him the whole 100 and not make the album. And I couldn't burn them niggas' money up like that. But it just is funny. Speaking of burning up money, can I put a pin there for a second?
Go for it.
Can I put a pin there for a second? Let me say something right quick. As I watched Yella's documentary, I got to go back to that for a hot second. When I listened to his documentary, him, Clientele both, was always talking about money. Okay? Talking about how they had the records, had records on the radio. They only heard them in California. That's first of all, they only heard them on K-Day. We wasn't on Power 106. We wasn't on every station. We heard it on K-Day because me and Greg Mack were buddies. Greg Mack played everything I ever made. Okay? The illusion of success in the home, here, we did shit in LA, and then McCullough started doing shit outside the city. Clientele didn't travel with us outside the city. In fact, one of the last times we saw him, outside of California, one of the last times we saw him on period, he came to the airport to get some money. I gave him a check for like $900 at the airport. Hey man, you want to do? Nah, man, I ain't going. Okay, cool. I'm not mad. I had to tell all sides of the story because folks paid me out to be the bad guy. When I started doing music business, nigga, I was no fucking manual on this shit. Okay? I'm a club promoter, started making records. Simple as that. I paid folks as I got paid. What we did not know, I didn't know until later on, that McCullough was doing what I call the shishka dick. You know what a shishka dick is? It goes in me, out my mouth, to the next person, to the next. It's like a shish kebab. Same thing. Same problem. And I didn't know, I didn't have enough knowledge to correct the shit till later on. And then and here's the next thing. When I gave them money, they would do that shit so fast. Dude, it was amazing. Not so much Clientele, he was gone by then. But Dre and Yella went through money so fast, it was fucking amazing. And sometimes they would lie on Lonzo because their mama would be on there. They all live with their mama. Lonzo ain't paid the shit. Bullshit. And I took the hit because they're the boys, but I saw their mama value when I didn't have a relationship with their mamas per se. I knew them, but we wasn't buddy. Okay, so if they lied on me, I took the hit. Sometimes I didn't know they lied on me till later on. But they would have all kind of parties and motels. They never did drugs, cars. Clientele tells the story about the time when Dre got his window broke out. It was actually his side window they broke out. They broke out to stole Dre's window. Oh, Arabian Prince. They broke out Dre's window. We at the Will Turn Theater. Some guys come in the club. Hey man, it's a guy in your car stealing your radio. We get outside. Homeboy got Dre's blow plunk under his arm, tucked like a football, running through the parking lot of the goddamn Will Turn Theater. They caught up with the dude, brought him back to the car. They banked him up a little bit. And wait. What happened? Where the glass at, man? Ain't no glass on the ground. What did he break? Dre tells me, oh man, I couldn't afford the window. Wait a minute. You telling me you put the radio back in the car and didn't put no window back in? Let that man go. Fuck that. I'm not beating that man's ass. Let that motherfucker go. Okay? That's the kind of shit I was dealing with, man. That's the kind of shit I'm dealing with. But everybody's a goddamn hero today. And it pisses me off and it makes me laugh because nobody tells 100%. They always tell partial shit. They don't tell the 100% truth. Man, nigga, come on, tell the truth. We out there, they chased him. I think Jinx and Q might have caught the cat, brought him back. They put hands on him a little bit. And I'm looking and I'm like, wait a minute, did he break the window? Did you leave the car open? No, man, when I bought the radio, I couldn't afford the window. And you didn't bring the motherfucker, you didn't take the pull out. It was a pull out. You didn't take the pull out and bring it in? No, I don't want to carry it around. Man, fuck you. I'm not doing
Might as well have a neon sign that says "Steal Me."
Thank you. So I'm like, man, come on, dude. This is the kind of shit I'm dealing with. When they talk about how they talk about how they left. Okay, you want to know how they left? I got about 5 minutes left. Just a long story. I got 5 minutes. I'm gonna tell you anyway.
Break it down.
I had a female man. I think I said this before. I had a female manager. She liked me. I wasn't into her at all. She told me she had some connections. I'm trying to understand the music business. She also had a couple of sisters. So we in Long Beach performed at Long Beach Convention Center. I meet another girl I like, Swamp Dog's daughter. We get to kicking it. Homegirl, she mad at me because I ain't paying no attention in the first place. Now I got another girl. Actually, I had two girlfriends, but I'm trying to get this new one over because she got a big old butt. Man, so now, shortly after that, Danny Terrio from Dance Fever licensed Juice for the finals of the Dance Fever dance-off. Gave me $300. $300 for a license to dance on Dance Fever. Did the deal, record played, blah, blah, blah. By this time, Big Girl is mad at me. And she tells these brothers these ignorant brothers, Lonzo made $300,000 on that music deal. He's buying houses all over Compton, and he hasn't given you guys any money. I don't know this yet. I don't know this, okay? So I want you, each one of you guys, give me some money. I'm going to fly back to Chicago and hire a lawyer in Chicago to sue Lonzo. In the meantime, don't go on tour. Don't talk to him. I have my lawyer contact you. They never saw the bitch again. They never saw her again. I got a bus. I got Mona. We got everybody. I bought these cats beepers. We all packed up, ready to go. Everybody was excited. They was excited one night. Next morning, they ain't here. I'm calling everybody. Anybody beep, anybody turn no beeps, no nothing. Finally, Greg Mack calls me. He said, hey, man, what's going on? I said, well, I don't know what's happening. What you know? Man, your boy's been out here complaining about you got a bunch of money and didn't tell him. What are you talking about? Something about Dance Fever and Shirley? I'm like, oh, I was so pissed. It's got to be bullshit. So I finally tracked down Dre at a party. I told Dre this is what happened. He came back. I was mad at Yella because I thought I was really pissed. I think Yella can't come back. I thought better of him. Dre said if he can't come back, I ain't coming back. Well, fuck it. Come on, Yella. Come on back. So Clientele, he didn't want to come back. So we booked plane tickets. Now we got to book plane. Bus is too late for the bus. So make a long story short, she got them. We had just done the world class album. I gave them all some money for the world class album. She got a chunk of that to go back to Chicago to hire a lawyer. Plus, even this is how I kick it. She got my black ass too. She told me if I give her $4,500, she was gonna go back and buy us ads in Ebony and Jet magazine. And I called everybody and said, hey man, do we want to give her this money? Macaulay gave us $25,000. Do we want to give her some money to promote the album? We all said yeah. And I gave her the money. I ain't seen the bitch again in life. Never. When I told Swamp Dog said, you stupid son of a bitch. She came buy a damn business card ad for $4,500 in Ebony and Jet magazine. He called me all kind of stupid. Now they was gone. They was already. It never was around me a Swamp Dog that much. I told him what happened, man, because Swamp Dog was my manager. He's the one that booked all the shows. So these are the kind of stories, man, that people don't tell, man. They don't tell. I'm sitting there in the theater bubbling because I'm like, y'all don't tell my Big Shirley and a sister giving y'all head jobs on the way back from goddamn Pittsburgh, California, and that y'all all fell in love. And come on, man, don't fuck with me. I know too much. Don't fuck with me. Okay, I ain't the one. You can be a hero on tape, but I know you. I know heroes and zeros, and we all got Z's and O's on our asses. We got to go.
Ooh, that's why I love this damn show. You're going to get the real West Coast hip hop history here. Any last words before we head out, or you want to give them that outro?
Time to go to the outro, baby. I got another thing to do at 7 o'clock.
All right, man.
Yeah, man.
Good shit. You feel better? You feel
Yeah,
like
I feel
you
much
good?
better now. Damn it. I feel like all right, for those who never heard of me, I'm the first one to put Dr. Dre in the surgery. Suck ice cube in the freezer till he got cold. On the eve after dark, 50-yard line Super Bowl. In the movie Straight Outta Compton, they played me like a hater of rap. Don't believe the Hollywood bullshit because it was all cap. My history goes deeper than you will ever know. Just remember that NWA stands for Not Without Alonzo. Peace, y'all.